The broken watch started moving again. A year passed, the war was gone, but the past does not always stay behind. Sometimes it waits, sometimes it returns on the most ordinary day, when a child laughs, when a mother prepares breakfast, when life finally feels peaceful again. Emily was 2 years old, and on that day, Eliza understood something for the first time. Her daughter was not like other children. Eliza no longer lived in fear every second. Enough time had passed for people to begin rebuilding their lives. They built new houses, opened small shops, talked about the future again. Children played in the streets. People smiled more often. The world was slowly learning how to live after the war. But Eliza was not the same. Before going to sleep, she still checked the door, sometimes twice, sometimes 3 times. Loud noises still made her heart race, and some nights she woke up after hearing Marcus's voice in her dreams, a voice she knew she would never hear again. Her life was simple now, a small wooden house, a little garden, a few neighbors, and Emily, the most precious thing she had left. Emily was an unusual child. She already knew many small words. She loved flowers. She loved sitting near the window and watching the road. But the thing that frightened Eliza the most was something else. Sometimes Emily looked like she was waiting for someone. She could stand near the door for several minutes, smiling at an empty space. One day, Eliza finally asked, "Who are you looking at?" Emily turned to her mother. Her face was calm, as if the answer was obvious. "Daddy!" Eliza froze. Her hands became cold. She had never shown Emily a picture of Marcus. She had never told her stories about him. She had never even said his name in front of her. So how could she know? For Emily's second birthday, Eliza decided to have a small celebration. Nothing big, just something warm and happy. She baked a cake. She decorated the room with flowers. She even took out a beautiful dress she had saved for almost a year. For a few hours, the house felt normal, like a home. A neighbor's daughter brought Emily a wooden toy. Someone else gave her a small doll. Emily laughed, and for a moment Eliza forgot about fear. Then someone appeared at the gate, an old man. Eliza had never seen him before. He stood quietly, holding a small wooden box in his hands. "I am looking for Eliza," he said. Her smile disappeared. "Who are you?" The old man looked past her, at Emily, and his expression changed. Not because he was surprised, because he recognized her. "So, it is her," he whispered. Eliza immediately stepped between him and her daughter. "What do you want?" The man slowly held out the box. This belonged to her father. Eliza did not open the box immediately. Something inside her was afraid. After everything she had lost, she had learned that some doors were safer when they stayed closed. But finally, with shaking hands, she opened it. Inside was something she knew instantly, a watch, Marcus's watch. She had held it only a few times before he disappeared. She remembered his hands, his voice, the last night, the last goodbye. "Where did you get this?" she asked. The old man sat down. "He left it with me." "When?" The man looked toward the window. "Several days before his final mission." Eliza felt a cold feeling move through her body. "You knew he would not return?" The old man was silent. Then he answered, "He knew." Inside the watch, hidden behind the old metal cover, was a small piece of paper, only a few lines, but Eliza recognized the handwriting immediately. Marcus. Her hands began to shake as she read. "If Emily ever finds this, it means I could not tell her myself. Tell her only one thing. I was not afraid to leave. I was afraid she would live in a world where she had to be afraid of who she truly was." Eliza closed her eyes. For months, she had tried to bury the pain. She had tried to remember Marcus only as a memory. But now, it felt like he was standing beside her again. That evening, after everyone left, Emily sat on the floor playing. The house was quiet. The birthday decorations moved slightly in the evening air. Emily picked up the watch. Eliza quickly reached for it, but she stopped because her daughter was looking at it differently. Not like a child seeing a new object, like someone remembering something. "Daddy kept it here," Emily said. She pointed to the pocket of her little dress. Eliza became pale. "Who told you that?" Emily looked confused. "No one." Then she smiled. "He showed me." That night, a storm came. The wind was strong. Rain hit the windows. The old house made strange sounds. Eliza woke up suddenly. She heard something, a sound like someone walking through the house. She sat up. Her heart was beating faster. She slowly opened the bedroom door. In the hallway stood Emily, but she was not crying. She was simply looking at the front door. "Emily, what are you doing?" The little girl turned around. Her voice was quiet. "There is a woman crying." Eliza felt a chill. "What woman?" "Behind the door." Eliza looked at the door. There is nobody there. But Emily walked closer. She placed her small hand on the lock and whispered, "She is waiting." The next morning, Eliza decided she needed answers. She went to an old neighbor who had lived in the village her entire life. "Was there anyone living in this house before us?" The woman thought for a moment. "Before the war?" "Yes." The old woman nodded slowly. "There was a family." Eliza felt something strange. "What happened to them?" The woman looked down. "They had a little girl. She disappeared during the war." Eliza felt her stomach tighten. "Disappeared?" The woman nodded. "Nobody ever found her." That evening, Eliza watched Emily playing. Just a normal child, 2 years old, small hands, a sweet voice, a child who loved flowers and sunlight. But now Eliza understood something. There was something inside Emily that she could not explain. Not a power, not a miracle. Something deeper. A connection to stories that the war had tried to erase. Stories that refused to disappear. That night, Emily slept peacefully. The house was silent. On the table beside the bed lay Marcus's old watch, the watch that had been broken for years. Suddenly, the hands began to move. Slowly, tick, tick, tick. Eliza opened her eyes. She stared at it. Her breath stopped. The watch was working, impossible. Then she heard a small voice in the darkness. Emily, still half asleep, whispering, "Mom." Eliza turned toward her. The little girl opened her eyes and said, "Daddy is back."